About a month ago, I did a video called What If Deadpool Was in The Boys, or What If Deadpool Was in The Boys universe. This was something that I wanted to do based on kind of how I think he would affect the universe in different arcs. So we're talking from season 1, season 2, and so on. Now, I know a lot of you brought up to me that there was another person actually before me that did a video similar to this, but just way better. And I'm gonna put my hands up, hands are up right now. It was way better, obviously, right? The video has 3.6 million views, and it's by Tortilla Delta 13. Yeah, sorry if I sound white, because that's what I am. Now, this was Deadpool in The Boys. And frankly, I watched this video and I was like, this is golden. No pun intended. Now, this was absolutely beautiful, so I was thinking, well, I should make another video on this topic. Now, of course, I'm kind of, rinsing and, kind of squeezing every drop out of this content. And, I gotta admit, just a little bit, but I thought that I had to make another video on why Deadpool would be perfect in the Boys universe, and some things that I didn't really talk about in either the what if that I did or even the other video that the other guy did that is way bigger than me, and that was so much better than mine. Now, with that said, let's talk about why Deadpool would be so perfect in this universe. Okay, for the very start or starters of this whole entire Boys universe, we know that, it's very serious, very emotional driven. Heroes are what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be heroic. Okay, I'll stop. None of that is true, right? We know that this world is full of heroes that are not so heroic. That is kind of the whole gag and the whole idea or the satire behind The Boys. It has this dark humor that really drives home through what real life superheroes would be. Yes, don't get me wrong, in real life I'm sure there would be some good-hearted, good people just like we see in The Boys, but unfortunately when you have a mass majority who is not so good-hearted, not such a good person, and just flat out not good in general, well, what happens is that they kind of override all the good eggs. And for example, we literally see Homelander absolutely, destroy a blind guy who is supposed to be like the daredevil of this universe. And this guy who is, blind, has super hearing, and an expert martial artist, seems so enthusiastic, seems so good-hearted. But then Homelander just straight up says, nah, I don't really want you on the team, and smacks him in both ears and makes him go deaf. So this world is flat out dark and is flat out perfect for Deadpool, because Deadpool really does thrive in those darker or kind of weird, irrelevant humor type of situations. Deadpool's signature fourth wall breaking would be literally perfect for a world like this. I mean, we literally see him. We have seen Deadpool on the live screen, obviously through Ryan Reynolds. And shout out to Ryan Reynolds. Of course, he'll never see this video, but if he does, I may just, piss my pants. Now, Ryan Reynolds really does bring to the screen what we would see as a Deadpool if Deadpool actually existed, right? This Deadpool is referencing so many different things. He's referencing shows, the DC Universe. I mean, everything you could think of, that's kind of what Deadpool is doing. And I would have loved the idea of Deadpool doing the same thing in The Boys. Imagine Deadpool actually bringing the fourth wall breaking to The Boys. So of course he knows that, this isn't really the real life, this isn't the real world, but imagine he starts breaking the wall and talking about certain things. Starts breaking the wall about things he knows about Homelander that he really shouldn't know, right? Starts breaking the wall about the actors and actresses that are within The Boys universe, and I could see this being both hilarious but also a beautiful plot point, so that Homelander and also Billy Butcher would despise him together, because they would flat out hate this guy. At the end of the day, Deadpool is kind of this outwardly comedic character, right? He is an anti-hero, don't get me wrong, so he kind of does fit perfectly with the anti-hero vibe, which the boys are built on the anti-hero vibe. At the end of the day, they don't have a no killing rule or no hurting rule and so on and so forth. Like, Deadpool fits in really well, but Deadpool is kind of the perfect character to not fit in with these other soups, quote unquote, and not fit in with the boys, or, you know, your Huey Campbells, your Billy Butchers, your Mother's Milks. He doesn't fit in with them because, yes, he may be a mercenary, which that does put him on the side of the boys kind of people, but he also is a soup who is kind of this comedic non-heroine that's this, you know, kind of does whatever he wants and does stupid things, and we've seen it over and over again with Deadpool. He doesn't really care, right? But then he also doesn't really quite fit in with the other superheroes because, let's be honest, Deadpool does have a minor moral code. There is a limitation to a large extent of what he will do. And he would, for one, only want to just mess with these people, kind of play on their emotions, you know, say this, say that, do this, do that, right? All of this kind of chaotic energy he would bring to those superheroes. Nobody would want to be around him. Now, I know in my What If, I did bring him onto the 7. I always thought it would be really funny if he was on the 7. That's kind of why I approached it in that way. But do I really believe that Wade Wilson would actually be on the 7? Probably not, right? I mean, he, at the end of the day, is a liability. He is a risk. He is everything, literally everything that is wrong. So there's, of course, going to be issues with putting him on the 7. So yes, would it be awesome to see him on the 7, like Tortilla Delta 13 did? Of course. Now, is it realistic? Probably not, right? There would have to be very specific circumstances for that to actually occur. Now, I want to put that in the back pocket because that's a little bit off topic to why Deadpool would be perfect for the verse. And I want to go on with the idea of this hyper violence, right? Obviously I don't want to get demonetized, so I won't get too graphic, but The Boys is a very graphic and violence based show, and Deadpool, with his no holds barred brutal fighting style, you know, from broken limbs to cut off limbs to cut off things that we can't talk about, this is the perfect place for him to kind of relish in the chaos, because at the end of the day, he has some of the most intense regenerative healing factor abilities, honestly, on the level that I could see Homelander absolutely obliterating him, but then he just comes back and he's fine. He's like some annoying starfish that just never goes away. Like, Homelander could bury him in the sand. He could be gone for days on end, stuck underneath piles and thousands of pounds of rubble, but then somehow he would make his way back to make that man's life living hell. And I'm not gonna lie, it would be pretty damn funny to watch that happen, because, come on, we all want to see Homelander suffer in one way or the other, you know, in the most PG way possible, wink wink. You know what I mean? But, like, at the end of the day, we are dealing with a Wade Wilson or a Deadpool who is literally invincible, right? This man will not die. Like, he just won't. I don't see a world where he does, and I know I've got a couple comments about that where they're talking about how, oh, what if he just cuts him up and throws him in the ocean and, like, you know, buries him under the ocean and stuff. I just don't see something like that happening. I think that's kind of just the furthest thing that I think Deadpool would allow him to do. And don't underestimate the capabilities of Deadpool, right? I say he is perfect for this world, and that's more because of his chaotic energy, more because of the fourth wall breaking, more because of how anti-hero and how far away from hero he truly is. But in terms of power, if we're not talking about movie Deadpool, we're talking about comic Deadpool, it's not close, right? Comic Deadpool absolutely destroys everything in the Boys universe. He would absolutely dismantle them. Now, would he do that because it probably wouldn't be as fun? Probably. He'd probably hang back and, you know, be like, yeah, I'm just going to do whatever I want type of thing. But if he was forced into a situation, kind of like a Deadpool kills the boys, which may or may not end up being a video depending on if you guys liked this one. Maybe I'll do that where how I believe Deadpool would defeat every single person or every single threat in The Boys, and that includes like your Billy Butchers, and maybe even includes other superheroes that he may not have faced in my original What If. But beyond that, Deadpool is someone who fits perfectly because of the fourth wall breaking, and I could really see Deadpool kind of talking about his past experiences in Marvel and how he's now on Amazon Prime with The Boys and this and that, and I honestly think it would be absolutely hilarious. And we have to talk about this as well because I feel like this would be perfect too, is his want or his desire whenever he feels like it to take on Vought, because Vought is horrible, let's be honest, and Deadpool isn't necessarily a good person, but his moral kind of flexibility would allow him to feel the need to actually take down this corrupt kind of corporation or organization. I would love to see him absolutely poke fun at Vought, poke fun at the PR machine that Vought built. At the end of the day, Vought has built a PR machine, and that's kind of like really doused within everything. And the chemistry between all of these characters with Deadpool would just be flat out hilarious. I mean, at the end of the day, I think I would pay stupid, if I have the money, of course, stupid amounts of money to see both Billy Butcher and also Deadpool interact. I would feel the exact same with Deadpool and Homelander. Shoot, I would love for Deadpool and Stormfront to interact. That would be absolutely freaking hilarious, man. I honestly would die of laughter watching that specifically. And at the end of the day, we will be getting so many of the most just beautiful references, pop culture references, Marvel references, DC, anything, right? I mean, I would love to see Deadpool or Wade Wilson talking about how Homelander is a freaking ripoff of Superman and that he'll never be Henry Cavill and this and that. I honestly think that would be super funny. And to be completely and utterly transparent, watching Deadpool interact in every single like kind of funny or kind of odd arc that is within the Boys universe, I think it would be amazing. And I know a lot of you are thinking what I'm thinking. Imagine his interactions in Herogasm. Yeah, I can't really elaborate further on that because, well, I'm trying to make money off this video. But I honestly think his interactions in Herogasm with the people there, maybe even in the experimental facilities, shoot, Deadpool himself, if put in this universe, if they got a piece of him, they got some blood, and they got enough of it, they could make a soldier, make someone, make anyone borderline invincible. Yes, invincible. So it's a pretty crazy factor adding someone like Deadpool into the universe of The Boys. Not just because he's funny, because he's quippy, because he breaks the fourth wall, and let's be honest, it would be just massively entertaining, but it's also because he's then placed into this world as kind of like an odd deterrent. We're talking, you know how they have a whole season involving trying to factor in this whole kind of get rid of compound V out of your blood virus and this or that, but it could be a whole nother season. Deadpool, him, they get his blood, they get his DNA, they get parts of him. Maybe he cuts off his leg and they get his leg and they do experiments. They use those experiments to gain even more knowledge of Compound V or whatever makes this man tick, whatever makes him the powerful or whatever makes him as powerful as he is. And they realize that within his blood holds the secrets to something that they never understood in the first place, something that could make a superhero or a soup like Homelander immortal. Now there's many different storylines you could branch off that, right? Maybe Homelander sees this as an opportunity for himself to become this immortal being, someone who doesn't age, someone who doesn't crack, the face of time, and now can be the ruler, the leader, and the just overarching just conqueror of this entire planet on his own forever until the end of time. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe you get a world like that. Maybe they use Deadpool's blood to create someone that can stop Homelander. Maybe they use his blood to actually take down Homelander in some sort of odd, meticulous way. I'm not 100% sure, but honestly, Deadpool, even as a character, taking on someone like Homelander would be a spectacle in its own right. I think I would love to see it, and I think many of us would love to see it. Seeing Deadpool in the Boys universe would be an absolute treat, even though we will most certainly never be able to actually see the true version of him within that universe. But nonetheless, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this idea of why Deadpool would be perfect in the Boys universe. What would you want to see him in? What would you like to kind of see him do in the Boys universe? What characters would you want to see him interact with? All of those good things. Would love to read your comments on it. And yeah, that's all I got to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, please leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. Show some love to the video. I appreciate it so much. And I'm glad you guys are still sticking with me watching the videos. I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things with the amount of videos I normally make per week. But I was in the process of moving, so things got a little bit jumbled. But nonetheless, we are back and we are here to stay. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, YouTube believes that you'll enjoy this one. So might as well go check it out.